Investigators stumbled upon a set of WhatsApp messages on the phone of a man arrested in a drug case. Not just ordinary messages, these belonged to him and his partner in crime. They joked with each other, either we'll end up millionaires or we'll share a prison cell together. What sounded like reckless humor was, in fact, the crack that would expose an entire empire. For the police, it was the breakthrough. It revealed that a 34-year-old man, Robert Andrew Jr., a resident of Newport, someone who had never once appeared on their radar, was in truth the mastermind behind a multi-million-pound drug operation. On the surface, Robert appeared ordinary, a devoted father, living quietly with his family in a modest house just around the corner. But behind closed doors, he was orchestrating one of the region's largest cocaine and heroin networks. One officer who surveilled him later admitted, no one knew, no one ever suspected, not a single finger was ever pointed at him. In today's USMag documentary, we uncover the double life of Robert Andrew Jr., how a man who seemed like just another neighbor secretly rose to become a kingpin in the drug world, how he built his empire, who stood by his side, and who eventually fell along with him. This is USMag. To anyone watching him from the outside, Robert Andrew Jr. seemed ordinary, a quiet man, living with his wife and children in a modest home. No flashy cars, no designer suits, nothing that hinted at hidden wealth. But suspicion arose when police arrested a major drug dealer, a man named Cary Evans. On Evans' phone, investigators uncovered a trail of WhatsApp messages, repeated conversations with a single contact. That contact belonged to Robert Andrew Jr. From that moment, detectives knew they weren't dealing with just another street dealer. Andrew was operating at a high level, someone who required a carefully planned strategy because taking him down would not be easy. As surveillance deepened, the picture grew clearer. What looked like an ordinary father was in fact running an underground network far larger than anyone imagined. Hidden cameras even caught him in broad daylight handing over a bag in a supermarket car park. Inside, drugs worth nearly 100,000 pounds. The investigation reached a turning point. Police launched an operation, codenamed Myland. Undercover officers tracked Andrew near the busy M4 motorway to a stretch of wasteland. There, deals unfolded before their eyes. And the deeper they watched, the stranger it became. Andrew used tokens to transfer money to his suppliers. In one instance, a man slipped into his car and handed him a single 5-pound note. Andrew studied it carefully. He didn't know the man, but he knew what the note meant. The unique serial number on the bill was the code, the signal that this stranger had come to settle a debt on behalf of a London supplier. Later, when police seized the courier's bag, they found it stuffed with cash, 109,000 pounds in total. From his mobile phone, investigators uncovered the truth. Robert Andrew Jr. had been making regular and very large payments to his supplier. The scale was staggering. In just 2 weeks, records showed 6 separate transfers, worth a combined total of 650,000 pounds. For covert officers, the conclusion was undeniable. They were watching a highly organized criminal empire in motion. So, in the early hours, just before Christmas of 2023, police moved in. They stormed Andrew's home. In a final, desperate act, Andrew hurled his phone onto the top of a bedroom wardrobe, seconds before officers entered to arrest him. But it was too late. The device was recovered. Inside, a goldmine of evidence, detailed records of orders placed, debts owed to him, and the amounts he himself still owed his suppliers. One officer recalled that even as handcuffs clicked around his wrists and the charges were read aloud, Robert Andrew Jr. laughed. A careless, almost mocking laugh. Chief Superintendent Andrew Tuck made it clear this was no street dealer, not someone selling to friends or standing on a corner. Andrew was moving weight on an industrial scale. Police seized several kilograms of drugs from him, including a stash of cocaine, comparable in size to a sack of sugar. He was, without question, a central figure in an organized network, responsible for flooding South Wales with both cocaine and heroin. As Superintendent Tuck explained, when you consider the scale of these trades, each exchange meant 4 to 5 kilos of cocaine, with values ranging from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of pounds. He never flaunted it, no flashy cars, no designer suits, but investigators noticed something unusual. On a quiet plot of land, Robert Andrew Jr. was building a new home. Inside that unfinished property, police uncovered a 60,000-pound luxury kitchen and furniture far beyond the reach of any ordinary worker. One undercover officer put it simply, no hardworking man could ever afford this. By early 2024, Andrew had little choice but to admit the truth. He pleaded guilty to conspiring to supply cocaine and heroin and to distributing the drugs himself. But the case was tangled with other ongoing investigations. And so, nearly 2 years passed before his punishment was finally sealed. Earlier this month, Newport Crown Court sentenced him 14 years and 8 months behind bars, half of that to be served in prison, the rest under conditional release. But Andrew didn't operate alone. Police described his associate, Samuel Takahashi, as a significant member of the operation. Takahashi was handed 8 years. Another 34-year-old from Newport caught on surveillance dealing drugs with Andrew, his fate sealed during the same 9-month investigation. When Judge Carl Harrison delivered his verdict, his words cut deep. Drug trafficking, he said, brings misery. And he told Andrew he should feel shame for dragging his own mother into his crimes. Earlier this year, she too stood before the court. Her role, paying one of her son's couriers. Her punishment, a suspended sentence. The network reached further still. Surveillance led officers to Greater Manchester, to a supplier named Nathan Jones. He had moved more than £1 million worth of cocaine through Andrew's network. His price, 18 years in prison. And then Raheel Marabin, from Bolton, paid £2,000 to transport £500,000 of cocaine from Manchester to Newport. His sentence, 10 years and 9 months. Chief Superintendent Tuck summed it up clearly. Drug crime has no place in our communities, and those who profit from misery will face the consequences. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to USMag so you never miss the stories that matter.